Everything been going.
Everything's been going good. About to say we're live now. We're live now.
Wonderful.
So let me change the lighting. So it's a little darker. It's been a while since I've done these, but yeah,
Yeah, it's been a little while.
yeah, it's been a long time. I wonder if they can hear you. I hope they can.
Mm-hmm.
But um, yeah, I've had a pretty mysterious year, and I won't. I'm not gonna say it was a bad year. I didn't have a bad year. I think physically, mentally, spiritually, this was probably one of my best years that I've had in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hit with a deep message about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and it seemed like they were like the secret ones that were watching me, but they were the ones that were more so protecting me, basically giving me a message saying you need to choose which side. And you know, I got that because it was a bunch of dimensions that I was starting to jump and like transfer and portal myself to. And when I got that message, it stuck with me deep, and it just showed me that this isn't a game. It isn't a game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of things that they hide but don't say, but they do say, and just trying to put words into what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I can expect everybody to believe what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to. My only hope is for you to take what I said for granted and then look for your own information as well. But it's like things are just universally aligning with my perception, I can say, at least, in how the way I see it. And maybe there's a whole bunch of other people. No, I'm not going to speak for everybody else. I can only speak for myself at this point. It's like you can feel the energy shifting and telling you that something needs to happen universally. It's like they're making they're making the current forces that are controlling this whole area now
Mm-hmm.
basically give everybody a final warning, because then something is going to happen. Like, I predict that 2024 is going to be like a year like 2020. Like, 2020 was just the beginning of what they wanted to show people. And
Mm-hmm.
with things going on now, you're starting to see more celebrities speak out in frustration about not getting paid enough. Actors strike. They're going on a rebuttal now. And it just seems like it's all becoming an end game.
Mm-hmm.
All becoming an end game. And, you know, like I said, I understood it, but I still didn't understand it until I went to that different portal that I jumped through. And I jumped through pretty far to where I was talking to angels that I didn't even know that was there, but knew who I was the whole entire time. So it was basically them saying, listen, like, we've seen you and we know who you are and we know that you've been here and we know everything that's going down, and you have the choice to come with us or you could stay back here. And with that, that's just, if you know, you know. So, but I've just seen a lot of things happen, and that kind of woke me up. That woke me up into deeper and more, you know, you know, thing. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. That's how complex what I went through was. Like, your eyes can see everything. That's what they give you the eyes for. But it's like it's your eyes and your energy that is focusing on, you know, the intent universally. I keep on saying universally, but that's just, there's just no other way to really describe it. I'm a pretty simple guy, and you know, like, you can't put things into simplicity for people that can't even get simple things. Like, they can't even understand simple things.
You know
So
what? That's funny that you described, because like this whole week I've been receiving certain like hinters of like people saying, even on the radio, like from the radio to like conversations that I've been having with, you know, like my immediate, like family around me right now, and just like certain people, you know what I mean? Like certain people that are ready to engage in that type of conversation. And that we, you know, like the reason why, like the reason why we're unhappy and we're miserable is because we can't even pick up on the most simplicity of hints that the universe is trying to communicate with us to actually awaken from this deep slumber spell that we free willingly chosen to put ourselves under. Now, of course, you know, like the whole planetoid, you know, Earth, if you will, has been going through such a traumatized state from redoing certain situations that have transpired already. And, you know, it's the Matrix resurrected, but now see, just because Trinity and Neo fly off, it don't mean that the rest of the Matrix still isn't there in the resurrection. And yeah, you know, like it's a choice. It's a choice that, you know, like it's a choice that we can either choose to creating the game and playing the game, or we can choose to actually soar to our highest potential selves and others, and break the binds all together. You know, and that is a choice that we simply do have within our free will volition. And yeah, man, that's, you know, like I've been finding just recently that's been something more or less that I've been receptive to in my comings and goings. And you know, just that very word right there is simplicity. You know what I mean? Simplicity. And because the system is set up for you to react on impulse because you feel that the system is so capable of awarding you all of these options, Lord, that you didn't even look within yourself to even choose the most simplest of things that could actually be the master key to, like, you know, like unlock your truest potential.
yeah.
And yeah, and then so like in the past, I know that we've been having a lot of deep combos about like the whole Thanos and Doc Strange thing, you know, and all the universe, and then still having that gauntlet on with all of those beautiful shiny gems, right? It's a beautiful thing to have that gauntlet, but the responsibility that goes along with it, right? You didn't even think that it was just one simple chance to turn everything all around, regardless of what you've done already. No matter how many people that you've taken out, Thanos, they're still in our responsibility, and all it took was for one person to make that known again. And yeah, man, just the simple things, man. Like a lot of us are out here looking for all different ways to be happy and to stay dumb, deaf, and blind. But then at the same time, we never thought that simplicity was something that would actually make us the happiest at the end of the day. That's just another reality. You know what I mean?
Are they trying to make us more complex instead of more simple? Because if we were more simple,
yeah, that's a good question. Because well, you remember how? Okay, like you remember what Neo said to the architect.
why am I here?
Yeah, that. But you remember what he was saying, because like he figured it out already. But the only thing that Neo could not control was the architect's choice. He could control his own choices. But the architect was so hung over on what it was that he was trying to accomplish, right? He just kept trying to take the program, like this system, into new heights unknown. Master this level. Oh yeah, I got this. And then all to find out that all he really wanted anyway was to get so much of what Neo and his love interests truth were, and then sum it all up to another program system with their energy.
Yeah.
So then you have all these program warp people walking around like a Mauser's program, acting like Neo and Trinity. But yeah, you remember what he said that the problem was? Neo and the architect both agreed on that. You remember what they both agreed on that was?
Oh man, it's been a while since I watched 2.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that was actually in 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, Neo said, the problem is choice. And then the architect agreed after that. He agreed with him. Yes, choice. So, free will choice is still to some degree a program that has been hacked through by other programs. Free will has even been hacked through by the architect itself. And because all the analyst is just a younger version of the architect.
Yeah.
A more sleeker, hip talking. You know what I mean? Like a lightweight looking type. Being that is that still has all of the capabilities of the architect, just in a more younger fashion. Like the whole resurrection stint was more so about making things become more trendy. Like you remember the movie, they said, "I did."
Yeah.
Right? Like it was all about ideas, and we know where they were hitting with that. Like they were going into the whole Aquarian age thing.
It's interesting how we're seeing that more now, like more of the Aquarius age now. Like I was watching this anime. It's called Jujutsu Kaisen, and they've been having problems. The animators have been having problems with the company because of how they're treating them at work. They have to consistently drop episodes week by week or frame by frame, however they do these episodes. I don't know anything about how to animate it, none of that. But they showed that there was 16-year-olds that made specific scenes on this very popular anime. And it was showing me that, wow, this is starting to show that kids that are younger are starting to have these creative minds to where they're working in big companies to promote animes and to promote themselves at that too. So it was just like, wow, like we're seeing a younger generation basically test what abilities they have in on Earth, while the millennials are the ones that are, close with Gen Z, but like Gen Z still with that next generation, because I think the next generation is Generation Alpha, and it's basically preparing the new young angels or gods that are coming in now. Because like I said, the world is shifting. It's shifting insanely crazy. I feel like, to me, I always say like days and all that stuff, it's how we apply, how we get through our lives daily. But literally the weeks have just been going by so fast. I felt like these last 3 months were to just hurry up. It's just trying to just hurry up in 2023 so it can get directly into 2024. And it's like, how is that even possible? But what is possible?
Yeah. Well, it's all possible because of everything that was actually. You know what? Now check this out. This is going to be a little bit tricky, but the reason why everything feels like it's going so fast, right? Like you're even seeing younger people now with gray hair.
Yeah.
And like younger women are starting to speak out like they are actually, like they have so much wisdom on end already. And like when you hear a young person talking about like this whole Gen Z thing or even like a Gen Alpha, like it's because they do have that residual consciousness within them, right? Okay,
yeah.
Like it's easier to use like the whole Matrix ordeal because people understand that there are like so many fans all over the world, even like newer, younger Gen Z fans of the Matrix now, just because of what it even entailed in this last one.
Yeah.
But it's because the same reason why they brought Katya back in to refreshen Neo and Tiffany's memory, right?
Yeah.
Because like that was the whole point. And you know what? They did that in Leonardo DiCaprio's Inception movie, produced by Chris Nolan. You know what I mean? But where like he had to have like these mental hints, that resembled people, but they were actually his thoughts that were like helping him along to get out of this like downward place that he just reluctantly wanted to desperately cling on to, but he no longer even needed it. Not even that, it wasn't even real. He was still creating the realness of it within his mind state, along with those markers. Because when he would wake up, he would go back to sleep. He would wake up, he would go back to sleep, right? Like his consciousness was going in and out. But anyway, make a long story short. Because what it is that, see, these younger generations are going to grow up, right? They're already acting way ahead of time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's because of all of the fidgeting that they've been doing before the Philadelphia experiment. And then they had to go back in there to go retweak some things. And it get real deep. And actually, I wanted to throw out there real quick too while we're in talk. So I actually just finished a new book today, which I'm going to be putting up in the new year. So,
oh shoot!
Yeah, yeah.
What's the title of it?
Yeah, oh yeah, and it's part 2 of the last one that I just uplink, and of course I had to go around Amazon because they don't even want my stuff up no more. And I actually noticed on Amazon recently that my rating has been going down, and that could possibly only be because of how certain factions of like the elite people out there are starting to catch on to my works.
Yeah.
And they're becoming disoriented by it. They're becoming enraged by it, right? They're becoming angered by it. And like that's just another curveball that they're trying to, throw my way to try to get me to feel over emotional about something that like we already knew was gonna happen, like way before we even released that first one, And but yeah, so just thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah, so these Gen Zs, right? When you become your wise elder self of what Trinity or Neo was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
You're still going to remember these Gen Zs even when they're adults, and they're going to still be reminding you about who you know that you are.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to be telling you about who they are. They're going to be telling you about who you are. Now, think about that. Now, remember when Neo was inside of the Oracle's apartment with the kids? What were they telling him?
Do not think of the spoon. It was like the kids were trying to tell him, like, you can't bend the spoon. Like, it's impossible when it comes to physical world. Like, but you can do that in your mind. And it was basically like the kids were saying, use your imagination that you've had when you were a kid to make this spoon bend. And he immediately understood that until one of the women came. And it's like women have this sixth sense to the point where, like, they all have the Trinity essence when they see Neo pop out of nowhere. It's like the Trinity senses activate with certain women that are on that level, because there's some that decide that they want to be in the more lower level, and they say, yeah, I don't want to go through that. But it's like some of them know it at the same time. Like there's not really a lot of people that I can discuss this stuff with, that I can talk with. So it's like it gets lonely. And I've gotten this, yeah, and I've gotten like messages saying like it's not going to be like this long. Like something's just been having me separate from everybody these past couple of months now. And as I'm getting older, I have my own spot, if I didn't tell you that. So it's like, yeah, I've gotten my new spot. I've made more money for myself, and spiritually, physically, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. And I just see things that are beyond to be seen. Like I see them, but I don't see them. My eyes have a sense that I can't really describe because they can't see them, but the eyes know that they're there. And maybe that's just the third eye.
Yeah, it could be. Have you ever dreamed that you wanted to be somebody else, but that somebody else was really you?
Almost everything that I dreamt of someone that I thought was someone else, I always thought that was me at the end of the day. And what made me realize that was me at the end of the day was when I would have deja vus about it.
Right, and that's what happened with Tiffany in Matrix Resurrection. Remember how Neo created the video game called Matrix, The Matrix?
Yeah.
And, but Tiffany, right, she told Neo that when she seen that game, she always wanted to be her. Like, she always wanted to be like her. But it was really Trinity.
Yeah.
Right. Uh-huh. See, we had the free will to be what we really are supposed to be without any interferences. And that's the whole thing of at the end of the day, like, a lot of us, you know, are like so confused because we actually know that we have a choice, but it feels so good to just follow suit and just do what everything else is doing. The idea of free will, knowing that when you go to the grocery store and you go back to the bakery section, that there are endless possibilities, right?
Yeah.
But the simple one would really make you most happiest if you really would let it, if you would allow it to show you that that's really what you need, all that you want, all that you desire, and that you don't need to just keep trying all this different stuff. You don't need Boston cream, and you don't need cherry turnovers, apple turnovers, lemon meringue. You just need that one thing. But the one thing that can actually really make you happiest is knowing that you can create your own ingredients.
Yeah.
Not the actual finished product. You know what I mean? Because the finished product could actually be a program, and it is. You know? So, yeah. And I was watching Kung Fu Panda just recently.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a beautiful ending, or like close to an ending, when he was like unfolding the scroll.
Yeah.
And everybody was fighting over this scroll. But when he looked at himself in the scroll, that was the secret. And when he was trying to tell everybody, even from his temple that followed him, as like this great warrior, you know, like this great symbol, he was telling them that it's in them. There's nothing that I can tell you because I had to see it within myself. I am this. And I don't need anybody to tell me this anymore because it was always me. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep, see? And that's what they were trying to keep Neo and Trinity away from, right? Like, they kept them, you know, like at a certain distance to see how their energies would, you know, like collage together. But then, you know, if they found out who they were, it was like all hell broke loose, and like the system would crumble, and you know. But yeah, see, like Neo and Trinity are symbols of what you can be and what you will be, right? As long as you know who you are, and as long as you walk what you are. See, the whole system is not going to fly off holding hands in the sky.
No.
There's still an imaginary make-believe, but yet very real illusion below. And that's what they were trying to tell us, you know what I mean? Just because we made this choice and we didn't want to choose that, though, that still existed. But we still exist too. Yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep because, you know, like, every woman has that Trinity. You know what I mean? But you have to remember in your heart what it was like to be Trinity already. And then we take those responsibilities. We take up that responsibility. And, you know, so, and that's something that a lot of the world doesn't want to do. You know what I mean? Now, things are changing universally, and it's great. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of love to still be had. There's a lot of things to still do and get corrected in the line. But make no mistake, though. You know, like, the more that you go forward on your journey, the more that the deepest, darkest truths unveil themselves. Like, you pierce through the veil. And then the more acceptance that you have to become yourself and be aware of as well, to use that now as a tool of consciousness to, you know, like, it's sad to say, you know what I mean? Like, you essentially you'll get to a point where you'll never have conscious conversations with people again because you won't need to. The deepest, darkest conscious conversations have already been had already.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know?
Mm.
And instead of saying that you're a know-it-all, it's just more of a humbleness when you do talk about things that are consciousness. It's not about waking anybody up anymore. It's just this all natural awakeness and knowingness that you were supposed to become. And you're actually right. We can't have these conversations with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And even though we live in a vast Earth realm of over 8 billion plus, that is still no guarantee. I mean, like look at what happened in the third Matrix movie. You know how many people live there?
Mm.
And they fought so hard to want to be a symbol, but they didn't fight so hard to themselves.
Mm.
But truth is always going to be greater, you know what I mean? Mostly in just one person, let alone a whole civilization of people. You know, like that was something else to look into. You know what I mean? And, we're not just talking about the Matrix. We're using the Matrix as an example point.
Yeah.
To talk about what it is that our very own neighborhood in this balanced universe has been trying to come through us and wake us up all along and show us all along. They're getting bored because they know that essentially we can get it, but we have to accept what it is that we are. And yeah, we do have to pick a side. You know, like we have to be on the side of justice and righteousness. You know what I mean? Even if you're a rebeller, you know, and you're taking up the Aquarian energy, at some point you're going to have to, on your journey of rebellionship, you're going to have to uphold justice and righteousness at some cost.
Mm.
You might even have to give up your rebellion in order to start living truth, because your rebellion could be falsities unknown.
Falsities unknown. I went through like I said, like 3-4 weeks ago. I knew my energy took control because I went to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew my energy basically was controlling the whole bar. Everybody knew that I was self-conscious at that point. Everybody knew that I was self-conscious at that point, and there was so much energy that was coming through me that I felt all of it at one. And it was so much that I needed to leave, because the angel that discovered me, he was just like, listen, like whatever I say or whatever I do could potentially stop this whole thing from going on right now, like this whole universe, like it can change everything. Because he understood on a soul level what I was and who I am now. And it's more than just the physical body at this point. It's more than just the physical body. So for him to be like, listen, me doing something right now or having actions, or like, because he was talking to somebody else that was also there, and he was just like, listen, whatever I say or do could probably change everything right now, good or bad. It doesn't like. So he decided he walked away after that. The craziest part was, before I already knew who he was, but I wasn't expecting him to just randomly just understand what my soul was at that point. He was like, the funniest thing is this guy, he's always been awakened since 2020. He's been here for a while, but
Right.
you know, like, you know, people have gotten in the way, but he doesn't even know who I am. Like, he knows who I am, but he doesn't even know who I am. He doesn't even know that I know that he's awake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know, that's interesting that you say that. And, you know, I started talking to him. And then one thing that stood out was he was just like, anybody that comes across my energy, I always observe who it is, because, you know, I found myself a particular different being, soul wise, knowing where I am at this point. So it surprises me when people want to interact with me. That means something. It's deep. And he was just talking to me, and he was just like, your energy is, he didn't even say your energy. He was like, you're the type of, he was like, you are someone that loves genuine people and doesn't want anybody taking advantage of others. You are the child of God, and you know that. And it got so deep that I had to walk away. I walked away from everything. Like, someone was there for me to be like, listen, like, there's a lot of shit that's going on right now, and it's a war, and you need to make your decision. Pick one path. And like I said, it was like that. It got deep. It got very deep. It told me what this physical bloodline that I'm a part of, and I don't want to expose any more on like YouTube, because YouTube is a part of this shit. So
Yeah, they are.
so it's like, I'm gonna keep it as, you know, as much as I can say, but just know, like, you know, I can't even, like, I don't think I should say it anymore, but I realized that I am the make or break. And next year, it's going to be something that is going to be an adventure. Not an adventure that, you know, I want it to be, but it's something that I have to go through. I have to experience. Because it's either that or I go back to a different physical body. And I'm not going to do that. Not right now. I have things that I need to do with this body.
Yeah, well said. Because, yeah,
But they're after me, and they're after me. And they know that I'm, you know, I'm waking, and what they're trying to do, honestly, it seems like I'm in a movie. It seems like I'm really the main character, and it seems like everybody's NPCs, and it seems like when I need something to be told for me, I can just let my energy manifest it for me without actually having to say it. And when that happened 3 to 4 weeks ago, I had to look at life very differently. I looked at my family differently, because they're part of that.
Right.
They're part of that, and they know that they're part of that, but they don't want to tell me that. And that's why I've always been so off distance. So it's like, at this point,
that's what you were supposed to become once you became. See, your family was only there to, you know, like, it's really say, but see, our natural mothers were only there to bring us into the system. It wasn't their job to usher us along and then groom us and prune us and tell us that everything was going to be okay, and that we would leave the village one day, never to return, because that wasn't part of the journey once we knew who we are. And it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go. It hurts. It's painful. It's a painful experience. But that's something that we need to deprogram ourselves out of as well, because, you know, that's just a reality, though, too, at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, whatever in your timeline that see, because really what's really going on is that you're trying to catch up to the other news and other reality. You're all trying to be